Hiring a contractor is already stressful enough, and these are the top 20 mistakes a contractor can make during a shower remodel. Number 20. Shower pan pre-slope. You must pre-slope your shower pan mortar in order for your waterproofing membrane to be sloped and have water runoff, unless you like the idea of the water secretly pooling under your tile like a nasty germ-infested moat. With the pre-sloped shower pan, the water secretly escapes through the mortar to the shower drain. Number 19. No shower pan liner. There's a certain amount of contractors who don't believe in using a shower pan liner in shower pan areas with a recessed concrete area. Just because the water won't run out of the shower onto your bathroom floor doesn't mean the water won't soak into the concrete and then the moisture will permeate into the wall stud cavity and cause mold to grow, or wood floors and baseboards to rot out, drywall damage, and paint issues. Waterproofing is always required. Number 18. Incorrect shower drain fitting. When removing a fiberglass or plastic shower pan and upgrading to a custom shower pan with tile, you'll need to remove the old drain opening and install a new drain opening with a flange that can be tied into with the shower pan waterproofing product. Number 17. Incorrect installation of shower pan liner. Most contractors have no issues with laying a 40mm vinyl liner in the shower pan and folding the vinyl into the inside corners. Where I typically see issues at is on the outside corners, shower curbs, and walls near the shower door.
Yummy. Would anybody like to hire a contractor to give them some free black mold, some rotten studs, mold and mildew all the way around, shower pan that isn't tied in correctly, water damage studs? So good. If that's my competition, wow.
What I want to show you with this shower pan liner material here is that it was clamped between this clamping ring here and the actual drain flange part that's inside there. Now what it should have had was 100% silicone, not siliconized painter's caulk or some other siliconized thing. 100% silicone between this liner here and that plastic drain flange. So that's one reason why it leaked. It's pretty common, unfortunately, that people don't know how to install this stuff.
Now, of course, we had that 24-inch wide or 18-inch wide shower bench there on that 24-inch wall, and of course they didn't run the shower pan liner up this way 6 inches or so higher than the bench and come down, because that would have prevented the water from running off the edge of the bench and down into the wall and then down into the downstairs office.
This is the main reason for preferring to use a liquid applied waterproofing, so I can conform the waterproofing to any shape with the walls, curb, shampoo niches, bench, and even ceiling up to the windows in the shower. Number 16. Blocked weepholes. So I had one last question about this shower pan. Did the previous contractor block all the weepholes? So I can tell that some of these holes here were filled in. A little hard to see once this other cover was on with the grate over here. When all of your pre-sloped mortar underneath this vinyl liner goes to your drain, okay, you're not supposed to block these little weepholes. So there's one weephole there just past the hex screw, and there's another one there. These have been filled in with mortar, okay? You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to have some sort of gravel, or would you at least keep the mortar away from the weepholes, okay? And then the water will drain through the weepholes, into a groove area and allow to go down the drain. And there's some other grooves here and so on, but nonetheless, that's how the water that actually soaks through your shower floor, through the grout, gets off into the drain. And then we don't have that stinky drain smelling tile grout getting all discolored and so on. It's worse than you think than just being covered over with mortar. I've seen some shower drain weepholes blocked or plugged up with either a silicone or glue residue, which would prevent the weepholes and slots, etc. from being effective. The silicone goes underneath the 40mm vinyl liner between the liner and the drain fitting, not between the liner and the drain clamp ring on the top. I've seen licensed plumbers use pipe dope, which is not what the manufacturer has approved, to seal the PVC liner to the PVC drain. Number 15. Shower pan flood testing. First off, if your contractor is not willing to do a shower pan test for up to 24 hours or so, just run. I've heard from potential clients that their contractor didn't want to do a shower pan test because the contractor was afraid it would leak. What? If you have a remodeling permit from your city, the inspector will require a shower pan test. I don't necessarily care that you get a permit, but I do care that you install and test things correctly. Number 14, drywall behind the tile. Over 2 decades ago, in some states, the cities would allow drywall to be used on the shower walls and then upgraded the requirements to moisture-resistant drywall. And with everything, time teaches people a lesson.
If this is my competition, I don't care how cheap the price is.
Now, the idea of waterproofing a shower has become common knowledge, but the execution to install and or apply the waterproofing material is still lacking. Read the manufacturer's installation instructions and test your contractor on some of this knowledge by asking questions like you just don't know yourself. For example, how do you apply RedGuard or Hydroban? Example number 2. What do you use to seal the 40 mil shower pan liner to the shower drain pipe? Answer, 100% silicone. If they say we roll it on or brush it on, run. RedGuard, Hydroban, and similar products need to be a certain thickness.
Applying Hydroban, Carl versus Pablo. Carl's on the left, Pablo's on the right.
Hydroban is applied wet 15 to 22 mils thick, or you can think of it as 0.015 inches to 0.022 inches. 20 mils is 0.020 and 30 mils is 0.030, or 1/32 of an inch to give you an idea. You have to let this product dry and cure for at least 24 hours. The time to flood testing starts when it has cured from a light sage green to a darker olive green. For Hydroban, I use a 3/16 inch by 5/32 inch V-notch trowel to gauge the thickness and then knock down the V-shaped ridges without removing any of the product. I have a wet mill thickness gauge to ensure I got the right thickness. How do you know if you have met the correct thickness if you're not using a tool that can repeatedly produce the same even thickness? Number 13, installing screws or nails below the flood level rim. You remember the point where we said no nails or screws in the top of the threshold? Well, here you are. Here's what the other contractor did. Put all those screws up front of the Hardy. Like, how many screws is that? Maybe 20? Would you look at that? When the water goes up against the shower pan liner here, that's what it's going to penetrate through and leak. Through all of these screws. Yep, no shortage of leak points. With a 40 mil vinyl liner, you need to buy a couple of feet more in each direction than the dimension of your shower pan, so you can go 1 foot up the wall on either side and up and over the shower curb. When you start introducing other shower features such as shampoo niches, benches, and windowsills, this can complicate the waterproofing process and start to make the vinyl liner look like a wrong product choice, and have you looking at liquid applied waterproofing such as Hydroban or RedGuard. I've been using Hydroban for over a decade and have had no issues or callbacks for any shower leaks, but the customers have called me back to do additional projects for them. Number 12, incorrect drain pipe size. A tub requires an 1.5 inch drain pipe, meanwhile a shower requires a 2-inch drain pipe. A customer hired another contractor who did a really bad tile job and the shower sat there unused for 1 year. I demoed the shower while treating it like an investigation, discovering everything that they did wrong. Took pictures and sent them to my client. Supposed to do the pre-sloped mortar bed. Did this contractor put any silicone between there and the drain flange? No, we did not. First 2 tiles came off super easy. Then I went to go pull on this tile here, and watch that block back there. It stuck to that, but of course they ran the tile back behind here, and so the concrete block couldn't stick to anything. One of my discoveries was that they had converted the 1.5 inch tub drain to a 2-inch shower drain and hiding the trap where it would not be all that serviceable if it got clogged up. I dug back another 1 to 2 feet to get to the 2-inch drain pipe that most plumbers bring over to an area that will be a tub or shower, and corrected the issue to now be all 2-inch drain pipe. Number 11, negative drain slope. I put a slope gauge on the drain pipe and discovered the drain pipe sloped the wrong direction, and not just by a little, but it was many inches off in just 5 feet. This was all done by the home's original plumber. I just cut out 2¼ inches to take this from a negative slope to a positive slope. And of course my level here actually measured level at the time, not sloping the correct way, but just breaking even. Anyways, this is how much more I need in order to get
the drain pipe actually sloped at 1/4 inch per foot slope. So that's pretty crazy, huh? About another inch or so. If being a licensed plumber is such a big deal, why is it that I'm fixing this drain pipe slope by about 3 1/4 inches I had to cut out? 3 1/4 inches for a 5-foot run. Yeah, licensed plumber or professional labor pimp?
A few years ago, I hired a licensed plumber to install one of those freestanding tubs and freestanding tub faucets, and I figured I'd have him move the drain pipe and water lines so he can install the valve, everything in the right way, since I had never done it before at that time. Come to find out, he didn't install the drain pipe with the proper slope on it, so I ended up correcting the drain pipe and finished the install of the tub and the freestanding tub faucet by myself. Just goes to show that even if you hired a licensed plumber doesn't mean it's going to be done correctly. Number 10. Incorrect shower bench attachment. Can thinset stick to a glossy or matte looking ceramic or porcelain tile? No! If you're going to build a bench or some corner footrest with block or brick, use thinset mortar straight from the concrete cinder block straight to your cement board or other tile backer board. But do not try to attach a bench like this straight to a glossy tile. That'll never work and the weight won't hold it in place. Number 9. No waterproofing on the bench, niche, wall edges, or windowsills. If you're the contractor who typically uses a 40mm vinyl liner, what do you use when your client wants a shampoo niche or bench? I've seen nearly every shower I've demoed missing waterproofing on the walls, door edges, benches, windowsills, etc. If you can't essentially hose down your shower before the tile gets installed without getting something wet that shouldn't be, your waterproofing plan isn't that great. Number 8. No slope on the top of the shower curb, pony wall, and bench, and/or no slope on the bottom of the shampoo niche before the tile gets installed. And now you can see that the threshold itself is actually sloped in the wrong direction. Okay, I just got done filling up the shower pan. As you can see, it's all filled up to the top of that inside bench area. And earlier this morning, I sloped this area at least 1/4 inch per foot slope. And so you can see the water has come out onto this space and remains there. This is going to be where your shower glass comes down, and when the water hits the shower glass, it'll go right back off into the shower pan. Sometimes installing this bullnose tile on top of the shower pony wall to have 1/4 inch per foot slope inward towards the shower. These 4 pieces took 1 hour and 15 minutes to, of course, mortar and pitch it in the right direction. You can kind of see here with this slope gauge here that this tile currently is 3/8 of an inch per foot slope, a little bit more. And as you go around the rest of the pony wall, you can see it maintains that same 3/8 of an inch per foot slope. So 1/4 inch is the minimum. And here on the edge of this tile, we have the exact same thing. Number 7. No slope on the bench top. When you're installing tile for a shampoo bench or a niche or any other flat surface like this, go ahead and take a 2-foot level and put it on top of the whole tile and make sure that there's no daylight showing underneath the whole level. And then, of course, make sure it's level. And of course, it's level left to right, but sloped front to back for water runoff. So you can see there that the bubble is to the left there where it goes uphill on the bench. Any surface that could collect water needs to be pre-sloped just like the shower pan areas, and then waterproofed. Do you really want to be sitting on top of a shower bench that may be collecting soap scum, mold and mildew, etc.? Plumbing drain pipes have a slope at 1/4 inch per foot slope minimum because it's self-cleaning. Your bench top should be no different. Number 6. Too much slope on the shampoo niche. For the shampoo niche, you should be shooting for 1/4 inch to 3/8 of an inch per foot slope. Having too much slope on a shampoo niche shelf will cause your bar of soap or even bottles to slide right off. I've even seen some contractors pitch the bottom of the tile up 1/4 inch to 1/2 of an inch in a depth of only 3.5 to 4 inches, and the bar of slope would just slide right off. I guess if you're going to drop the bar of soap anywhere, it should be in your own shower. Number 5. Shower doorway too narrow. The code requirements for a shower doorway is a minimum of 22-inch clearance. The problem seems to be that contractors don't take into account any shower door frame, hinge swing, and anything else that could creep into those dimensions. I usually shoot to have a finished doorway of 28 inches to 30 inches after the tile is on. For the shower glass, you'll want to apply a full bed of thin-set mortar behind the tile that will have the heavy frameless shower door attached to, or it could crack the tile when the installer starts drilling with the hammer drill through the tile, attaching the anchors, and then installing the screws and torquing all of that down. Don't forget that one of the reasons why I'm putting in this extra mortar here, I would like to have a solid bed of mortar behind all of this tile. And the reason is because somewhere in here is going to be some shower door hinges. I know that prior to doing all the hardy backer, I made sure there was framing in this area for them to be able to screw directly into the studs. But if I don't have mortar behind this stone tile, and knowing as soft as it is, after working with it for a little while, that this particular stone, could just crack. And I want to have a nice solid bed behind there of mortar. Number 4. Insufficient fasteners. Whatever cement board or shower wall product you choose to install, be sure to know how many screws you need, the spacing required, and the screw length. Half-inch cement board requires screws every 8 inches in the field and within 1 to 2 inches of the edge along the studs. Half-inch gypsum products usually require 1 1/4 inch screws every 12 inches in the field and within 3/4 of the stud. Number 3. Shower head height. Many older homes had the shower head water pipe outlet installed at 6 feet high, but I think somebody forgot to account for the shower arm and the shower head coming down about 5 to 6 inches lower. So anyone taller than 5'6" or 5'7" had to duck a little, or a lot if you're like me at 6'3". If you're remodeling your shower, raise that shower head pipe opening up to 6'9", so the head ends up around 6'3" or whatever height you choose. Number 2, no caulking. If it has an inside corner, the grout is likely going to crack over time. In the past, before full-blown 100% waterproof showers, I can see how this would be a much bigger deal. If you have a tub edge without that hidden bent-up lip along the wall hiding behind the tile, it's still going to be a big deal, so you definitely need to caulk between the tile and the tub. But hopefully you have tied in your liquid waterproofing from the wall to the tub surface. For your shower valve cover, apply clear silicone around 99% of the cover, just leaving a small weep hole at the bottom side to let any potential trapped water escape. And finally, number 1, hiring a contractor based on price. Look, I get it. Nobody wants to spend more than they have to, but set price aside for now and focus on someone who will do a great job and not make you regret hiring them. Or start saving to rebuild your shower once it starts falling apart. Find a contractor who will do a great job and not take 3 months to complete the job. Hire someone who does one job at a time, and even if they aren't the one who will do literally everything themselves, they will be there to supervise, because it's not your job as the homeowner to supervise someone they hired. A contractor who shows up for a half an hour to 1 hour a day is not who you're looking for.